What's good? What's good, people? What is good, YouTube? Today I'm gonna talk about. Oh yeah, I have the mic up. Yesterday I forgot to put the mic on the top of the camera, so I have the mic on now. So let's see if the audio is changed around a little bit. Let's see if it's even too loud, to be honest, because I'm pretty close to the camera here. But today I'm gonna talk about actually some COVID-19 stuff because I had a different topic. I was going to talk about percentage of children born to single mothers and show you guys a graph of that on the internet here, but I was just watching the news and then I was looking at how there's apparently the new variant that was that started in India and killed so many people apparently crossed over to the UK, and now they're dealing with COVID numbers that are apparently even worse than what they saw originally, like for the first two or three waves at this point, whatever, however many waves you want to say it is. So I'm just going to talk about that, and we'll leave the single mother video for maybe tomorrow or maybe later today, depending on how the day goes. But yeah, let me just take you into my screen here, because honestly that worked so well the last time, or yesterday. In yesterday's video I kind of liked that format, so I'm gonna do that again here. So let me capture it. And bam, so you should be in my screen right now once I edit it. So yeah, here we go. Let me just actually open this new tab here. Oh yeah, that's a great album. You should check it out if you ever have the time. Some good music there. So let's just type in here COVID variant in UK. And here we go. Yeah, DuckDuckGo browser I'm using. Yeah, the Delta variant, they call it, causes more than 90%. The Guardian. Let's just look at this. So, Delta variant causes more than 90% of new COVID cases in UK. Variant first discovered in India is thought to spread more easily and be more resistant to vaccines, right? So, this COVID thing, like, what's really up with this COVID thing, to be honest? Because obviously there's some people saying, okay, is it a conspiracy? To be honest, I think I don't think it's a conspiracy in terms of like there's no COVID and they're just making it up. I think obviously there's COVID at this point. Like people died from it, and it is what it is. Like it's you could argue how deadly it is, etc., all that stuff, but it's definitely a real thing. And maybe our response to it was overblown, at least in I'm in the United States, so I can only speak for our response here. Maybe we shut things down too much, and the economy, we printed too much money. We definitely did that. I can say that with certainty. We printed too much money in response to it, and now we're going to be screwed on that one for years to come. But and people still don't believe me on that, which is hilarious to me. But this COVID thing is definitely a real disease. And where it came from, I'm almost positive it was an act of war from China, but people are kind of iffy on that. But it does seem like, I think in Australia, they're really trying to get to the bottom of it. Like, how did this come from a Chinese lab? Was it on purpose? Was it not? And I think they're going to end up finding that it was probably an act of war. Like, China's been at war for at least 3 years. They even declared it too. They declared that they were going to war. I have this in a video from way back when. It was actually my first video to get over 10 views. It was from way back when I said China declared war. And I talked about, like, the blockchain and what the kind of people are doing there. But China's been at war, and they said they wanted to get to artificial intelligence supremacy by like 2020, they said, I think. And this was back in 2017, and arguably they achieved that, right? And then they want to get to supremacy in a bunch of stuff by 2030, and I'm pretty sure they're going to end up getting there. Like, they're the biggest economy in the world by now. But the fact that they're communist, no one's, it's going to be hard for them to really exert influence, I think, just because of the fact that they're communist. Like, a communist government like that, it never works. Even because you simply can't just account for all like factors in an economy from the top down, and that's what they're trying to do there. So they have the most people, so they're going to be the biggest economy, but like the communism just simply never works. Just from a logistic standpoint, honestly, like it might seem like it works good at first, but we're gonna go there like maybe in 20 or 30 years and realize how many people are starving and stuff there. And yeah, there's I have more to say about that, like from some comments that were posted yesterday. Like, the men there are just like not having it too, like, and I'm not surprised. But let's just keep going with this thing in the UK. More than 90% of COVID cases in the UK are now down to the coronavirus Delta variant first discovered in India. Total number of confirmed cases passed 42,000. This Delta variant spread more easily than the Alpha variant, somewhat more resistant to COVID vaccines. So, like, this thing is this going to just be a perpetual thing where we just give out more and more vaccines, like vaccine passport and all that crap? I don't really want to get too into that because I don't really want that to happen, but especially with a greater risk of hospitalization, this thing did kill a bunch of people in India, and that's crazy. Like I said, it's definitely not a fake thing. Now, Public Health in New England has said that more than 90% of cases you involve the Delta variant. The most recent data, so 96, I mean, come on, how 96, 90%, it's pretty much the same. The PHE report further revealed that the cases of the virus are doubling between every 4.5 to 11.5 days. Has about a 60% increased risk of household transmission. So the cases jump to like times 1.5. Yeah, Steve jumped down to it in part due to the use of a new technique to determine. Okay, gives a fuck. New data includes a more rapid genotyping. Yikes on that, yikes. Rather than looking at the whole genome of a virus to work out. Okay. So most of this is trash, to be honest. Okay, that's just about the approach still. Okay, since the start of February, I'm just jumping down here. Since the start of February to June 7th, there were 33K Delta cases, 19K were unvaccinated, 1.7K among fully vaccinated people, 7.9 had received one jab. It's just bullshit. Like, I don't know if you guys have gotten the vaccine yet. I mean, I haven't, and I probably never will. Unless I have to go back to school or some shit. 383 people in England were admitted to hospital with the Delta variant. So, I mean, I don't know how bad this thing is ultimately. And I don't know if it's gonna come here, right? That's the thing. Like, will it come to the US and will we shut down again? I highly doubt it. Because people didn't even really allow the first set of shutdowns. But the thing about shutting us down here is that people just stayed at home because it was already a trend even before COVID, like for people staying at home, to be honest. Because there's no society here to go out to anymore. So what are you going to do outside? And then they were already printing money even before COVID. It just got way worse during COVID. So it's like who is even really going out, like, and doing shit, right? Because you go out and like you go out for a walk and shit like that, but what's really being done outside? Not much. Like, other than like soccer practice and shit. That thing is like, let me just look at. I wonder if I can find money supply. Money supply since 2020. I'm just gonna type that in, screw it. I'll probably have a whole video on this, to be honest, because one, that just, it doesn't really do it justice, me talking about it in a little bit right here. Doesn't even do it justice. M2 in the US has increased 20k billion. That's like 2 trillion. And April from has increased to like 2 trillion from, whoa. Wait, so we increased like 300 billion in a month. See, that's like, dang. That, I mean, I can't even do, that's like 200 billion or something like that. Like, and just look from 2020 to, I mean, is that not scary to you? Like this is 2 trillion, and they're thinking about printing more. So from 18 to like 20, so it's like almost 2 trillion. And I need to, and that's just M2 money supply. Like, I'd have to go have a whole video on what these things mean, like M1 money supply, M2 money supply. I have to, like, because I learned it in economics class, but like a little while back, but I have to refresh on all that shit. Because I know one has to do with Federal Reserve printing money, and the other has to do with the like, what do they call it, reserve requirements or something like that, and then how banks just make more money out of the money they have deposited. So I'll definitely have a whole, because just doesn't do it justice. Like, just looking at this chart doesn't really do it all justice here. But yeah, I mean, I guess I just want to talk about COVID right now, because I just saw this shit on the news about COVID, and I'm wondering, like, how this, if this is gonna affect us at all, like in the United States. 12% of adults said they plan to go on a trip abroad. 71%, okay, trip would be a holiday. 12% of people going abroad. Let's see, yeah, I don't even know. I don't know how that will affect us here. Actually, I'll probably zoom in. I don't know how well you guys can see that shit. But yeah, I guess I just wanted to talk about that. Like, I didn't really have anything to say about it. It just kind of surprised me. So just leave your thoughts on coronavirus in general. Like, and I'll probably time it out more, like for later videos. I'll have a few articles up that I can pull from. Maybe instead of just looking it up on I study. See, and then all this UFO stuff, like, I don't know if it's a distraction or not, right? Because back in the day they used to hide all this UFO stuff from us, but now even on cable news they're talking about how UFOs, how like the military saw UFOs and all that shit. So I guess everything comes out eventually in terms of all those classified documents they have. I mean, I guess things come out eventually, but I'm just wondering, like, what's the point of bringing it out now? Yeah, and all that UFO bullshit, I don't really want to get into that. I might eventually, but yeah, I guess that's pretty much all I got. Like, I guess not too entertaining on this one, but like, just what do you guys think about COVID? Like, this thing kind of destroyed society. Like, maybe it was destroyed prior, but in terms of me, like, my life was kind of going relatively normal. I didn't even know about half this shit, half of all of this, like MGTOW, and I just really started looking things up when it's probably like our era's 9/11, right? So 9/11, for a lot of people, like, that were old enough to really be thinking about things, that probably changed their perspective on the world and how things worked. And I think COVID did that. Okay, COVID is the next, and maybe the housing crisis was probably the next one for them. Like the next one for people who were to come of age, like the 2008 bubble bursting. But I think COVID is that situation for the next cohort of people who kind of weren't really of age in '08 to like understand what was going on. Like, I didn't really get it. I just heard about Occupy Wall Street, and back then I still thought the Illuminati was in charge of everything, right? And like the Rothschild bankers and all that shit. But I never really broke it down because I didn't even have the experience to like even really know what I was talking about. But like, I think COVID is that next big event where now it's all like all of a sudden we realize how the world works. Like, we realize that things aren't perfect, that like not everybody is out for your best interests, basically. Like, people don't really give a damn in general. And if someone's whole life is screwed off of a few decisions, the reality is like no one really cares. So you just have to kind of look out for yourself. Like, there's no, like, society isn't, it's not like that's a society is like a frontal lobe kind of thing. It's not really like a real like brain stem thing. Like when you were a kid, you thought society was you thought it was something that was like a more continuous concept, I guess. At least for me, I thought society was actually like something that was a legit continuous concept. But when I get older, now I'm like, society, it's a continuous concept in that, like, a lot of people just being on the planet interacting with each other, there's going to be some kind of culture and some kind of like connections going on, but it's not as it's not as like glued together as you thought when you were a kid. Like, as you get older, you're like, okay, this isn't really glued together that much at all. It's just the people who want to glue it together, they'll glue it together. But there's a lot of people that just don't really give a damn, and they're also part of that what you call society too. Like, they're also part of it because their actions affect the general thing, and then it's like, yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Probably not too entertaining. This is just more basically news, right? Like, I mean, just leave your comments on what you think about COVID, I guess. I might have another video later. I mean, let me show you this guy. I was watching him earlier, and look at, like, this guy jumped another 5K subscribers. Like, remember his thing, how he was like, remember how the dude was like, oh, he was so excited for 5K subscribers 6 months ago. See, he jumped another 1K today. Like, so he jumped 6K in a day today, and he was so excited about 5,000, like, all that time ago, man. Like, I'm gonna try to get to some of this shit too. Like, maybe not the stock, but things like this. Maybe in like 4 years, I'm kind of going more long term on this. So maybe like 4 years, I might be like that guy. Who knows? Maybe not. Because I'm not gonna do stocks, but I'm gonna do it might have to do with like technical contracts and just returning power to the individual, I guess. Like, I guess that's what this guy's trying to do too, straight up. Yeah, I was like watching him earlier, but then I stopped. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, this video is long enough. Like, I mean, this not too. It's just something I like. I was eating. I kind of woke up late. I'm eating breakfast or lunch, whatever you want to call it, and I'm watching the news, and I'm like, dang. So there's another COVID thing. So there it is for y'all. That's all I got. Tomorrow, probably talk about that single mother graph. Let me just give you. Fuck that. See, cookies, man, cookies. That shit. I'll talk to you guys about cookies one day. But I'll just show you how many. Single mothers. Oh shit, there's an updated. Is it CDC? No, it's not this one. There's like a CDC. Yeah, this is it. This is gonna be tomorrow's video. Talking about this shit. And I'll have a lot more to say. See, 1 in 5 in Utah, man, that's the least. That's all I'm gonna say for this one. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I'm gonna end that recording. Yep, that's it. So, yeah, just leave comments if you guys think anything about COVID. If you guys can't wait for tomorrow's video, maybe, because that was actually supposed to be today's video, but I just got distracted. So, yeah, that's basically it, y'all. I guess I'll catch y'all in another one. Look forward to those comments. Let's see how many views this one gets. See, the fact that I don't put MGTOW in the title, you see how, like, just observe the channel and you see how few the views it gets. It's funny because it's all limbic system, man. Like that's why I'm hoping like in a few years people like get their shit straight so we can talk about other issues here, because like how manosphere, it's all about women, man, it's all about women. But yeah, that's it for today's. I'll catch y'all later. Have a good day and peace out.